In a messy apartment where a young man named Kai is sleeping soundly. Suddenly, the front door is kicked off its hinges. A tactical squad bursts into the room, slamming Kai into the floor and throwing him into heavy steel handcuffs. Dazed and terrified, Kai demands to know what is happening, but the officers remain stone-faced. At the precinct, Kai's panic turns to pure horror. The detectives slide a photo across the metal desk. A bloody hunting knife recovered from under his mattress. Kai swears he has never seen the blade before, but the evidence against him is overwhelming. An underage girl was found brutally murdered, and forensics found Kai's fingerprints all over the crime scene, alongside matching DNA. The country instantly brands him a monster, but despite the mountain of evidence, Kai fiercely maintains his innocence. Flashback to 24 hours earlier. Kai was at a local internet cafe playing video games when he spotted a high-end smartphone left behind on a desk. Moments later, the phone rings. A woman on the other line begs him to return it, promising a massive cash reward of 1 million won. Lured by the quick cash, Kai agrees to drop it off at a luxury hotel room downtown. He knocks on the door, but receives no answer. Noticing the latch is slightly ajar, he steps inside. To his embarrassment, the woman is in the middle of taking a bath. Acting completely casual, she instructs him through the frosted glass to leave the phone on the bed, take the cash envelope, and go. Kai thinks he's just making an easy buck. He even tells her to lock her door next time for her own safety. But little did he know, he just walked straight into a flawless execution trap. If you want to see how Kai survives this absolute nightmare, smash that like button and subscribe right now for the ultimate thriller breakdowns. Waking up the next morning as the most hated man in the nation, Kai's world shatters. His mother rushes to the station, passing out flyers and begging the public for a proper investigation. But to society, she is just the mother of a monster, and her pleas fall on deaf ears. Desperate, she spends her savings on a highly talented, ruthless defense attorney named Lawyer Mendes. After reviewing the grim forensics, Mendes drops a brutal truth bomb. The victim was stabbed 31 times. Public rage is so high that citizens are demanding the death penalty. Mendes tells the mother that Kai's only chance to avoid execution is to plead guilty and claim a severe psychological disconnect from reality caused by violent gaming. But the mother refuses, knowing her son is entirely incapable of such cruelty. The hammer falls in court. The judge sentences Kai to life in a maximum security prison, mandated to undergo 5 years of high-intensity psychological evaluation. Shouting his innocence until his throat bleeds, a heavily sedated Kai is dragged away from his weeping mother and thrown into a living hell. Maximum security prison is an entirely different beast. Alone and terrified, Kai keeps his head down, but his paperwork has already leaked to the cell blocks. In prison, killers hold the highest status, while those accused of targeting minors are treated like vermin. The yard leader, a brutal convict named Marcus, corners Kai with his gang, launching a savage assault. Refusing to take the blame for a crime he didn't commit, Kai snaps, knocking Marcus flat with a single powerful punch. The retaliation is merciless. Marcus's subordinates swarm him, beating Kai bloody while the guards intentionally turn a blind eye. The warden eventually stops the riot, but blames Kai, knocking him unconscious with a nightstick and throwing him into a pitch-black solitary confinement unit. For weeks, the torment is endless. Marcus corners Kai daily, subjecting him to absolute psychological and physical torture designed to break his spirit. Driven to the absolute brink, Kai tries to end his own life in his cell, but medical staff revive him, forcing him back into the same relentless nightmare. Everything changes during a glass shield visitation. His mother arrives, looking pale but resolute. She begs him to hold on, revealing that a secret eyewitness has finally come forward to prove Kai was miles away from the crime scene on the night of the murder. Hope flares back into Kai's eyes. He promises her he will survive. Back in the yard, Kai adapts. He builds stamina, trains aggressively, and befriends an enigmatic older inmate who teaches him lethal close-quarters martial arts. The old man tells him the system will never willingly admit a mistake. If he wants justice, he must stay alive to take it. The next time Marcus's crew attempts to ambush him, Kai doesn't cower. Using improvised weapons hidden in trash paper, he dismantles the attackers one by one, scaling the prison hierarchy until even Marcus backs down in fear. His mother's promise is his armor. But the final shattering blow arrives on the next visitation day. Kai walks into the room, but his mother isn't there. Sitting at the table is a solemn Lawyer Mendes, who quietly slides a document across the glass. A death certificate. Broken by the relentless harassment and the despair of the legal system, his mother had taken her own life. Kai's mind fractures into pure vengeance. The realization hits him like a freight train. The mysterious woman in the hotel room was working for Leo, the phantom predator who meticulously framed him, wiped out his family, and stole his freedom. And the justice system isn't coming to save him. If he wants to hunt Leo down, he has to get out of these walls. The very next morning, Kai marches into the cafeteria, intentionally instigating a massive brawl with Marcus. As the prison yard erupts into chaos, Kai draws a smuggled shiv, brutally slashing Marcus across the face. When the lead guard rushes in to intervene, Kai pivots, driving the blade straight into the guard's abdomen. As sirens wail and guards flood the block, Kai and Marcus are left bleeding out on the concrete floor. The warden frantically calls for an emergency medical transport, and as the ambulance doors slam shut, Kai's deadly escape plan officially begins. Getting stabbed in the yard was all part of Kai's desperate plan. On the way to the emergency room, the ambulance doors haven't even settled before Kai explodes into action, overpowering the transport guard. Pressing a loaded medical syringe against the guard's neck, Kai forces him to hand over the handcuff keys. During the intense struggle inside the moving vehicle, the driver loses control, sending the ambulance flipping violently across the highway. Kai kicks through the broken glass and crawls out into the night. As he flees, the injured transport guard stumbles out and draws his service weapon. He aims it at Kai's back, but as their eyes lock, the guard pauses, seeing the pure, desperate innocence in Kai's face. Slowly, the guard lowers his gun. He lets Kai run, realizing a true monster wouldn't have spared his life. An escaped maximum security convict triggers a massive, nationwide manhunt. On the run, bruised, and wearing prison rags, Kai faces impossible odds until he stumbles upon a foreign couple stranded on a dark road with a smoking car engine. Using his quick mechanical skills, Kai fixes their vehicle on the spot. In deep gratitude, the couple completely shields him through a heavy police checkpoint at the intersection and hands him the keys to the car. With nowhere left to turn, Kai drives straight to the office of lawyer Mendes. Mendes acts shocked and immediately promises to hide him. But the second Kai turns his back, the corrupt attorney triggers a silent alarm to the police. Mendes looks at Kai and drops a devastating truth. The secret eyewitness from before never existed. It was a cruel lie he spun to protect his corporate clients. And Kai's mother took her own life out of pure despair when she realized the system was rigged. Mendes then hands Kai his mother's final relic, a silver bracelet. Clutching the bracelet, Kai breaks down in agonizing grief, but the wail of approaching sirens cuts his mourning short. Realizing Mendes just sold him out, Kai shatters the office window and leaps into the alleyway, narrowly evading the police net. Determined to uncover who pulls the strings of this conspiracy, Kai takes refuge in an underground internet cafe. While scanning the web, he finds a viral video from a prominent gaming blogger who has mathematically analyzed Kai's arrest footage, proving to the world that Kai was completely set up. The blogger is none other than Kai's old online gaming teammate, known by the handle Harryman. Suddenly, a voice message pops up on Kai's screen from Harryman. The cafe owner just called the cops. Get out now and meet me at the hotel room down the block. Kai rushes to the hotel, but when he bursts into the room, he discovers Harryman is actually a petite, brilliant girl named Chloe. Suffering from extreme social anxiety, Chloe used a high-tech voice changer during their gaming sessions to hide her identity. Recognizing that the street is crawling with patrol cars, Chloe quickly hustles Kai down a hidden freight elevator and takes him to her secret tech base. Inside the bunker, Chloe prepares a massive hot meal for Kai, his first real food in months. As he eats, the memory of his mother overcomes him, and he bursts into tears. But a sharp knock at the steel door interrupts them. Chloe hasn't just been hiding. She has gathered their entire online gaming clan to fight back. The team consists of an eccentric senior professor, a rogue hacker, and a few unemployed tech geniuses. But they all share one burning conviction. They know Kai is innocent. Chloe fires up her multi-monitor hacking rig and lays out the digital evidence. She reveals that the original hotel elevator footage used to convict Kai was heavily edited, and a massive commercial delivery truck was spotted idling near the scene. Digging deeper, she uncovers a chilling pattern across the city. Dozens of high-profile murder cases where a perpetrator was caught and convicted within an impossible 24-hour window. And in every single instance, that exact same commercial delivery truck was parked outside the crime scene. The clan splits up to hunt the vehicle. Tracking it through a black market used car lot, they follow the truck to a heavily secured, abandoned corporate high-rise. Kai slips inside the building alone, while Chloe completely overrides the facility's security cameras from her base, guiding his footsteps through a wireless earpiece. Chloe guides him to a reinforced steel door on the third floor. Kai slips inside, but the smell of copper hits him instantly. He cracks open a heavy wooden crate in the center of the room and recoils in horror. Inside is the fresh, lifeless body of a prominent national actor. Before he can process the murder, heavy footsteps echo down the corridor. Someone's coming. Hide! Chloe barks through the earpiece. Kai dives behind a stack of drywall panels, watching through a crack. A crew of expressionless, highly professional men in forensic suits enter the room. With terrifying precision, they begin intentionally staging a fake crime scene. They carefully splatter blood on the floor, place premeditated hair fibers on the furniture, and stamp synthetic fingerprints onto the walls. Kai watches in absolute horror. This room is a factory designed to frame an innocent person. It took the police less than a day to arrest him because the trap had been fully built before the victim was even dead. But Kai still doesn't realize the terrifying truth. The mastermind orchestrating this entire operation is lawyer Mendes. Mendes controls the city's big data network, using his elite cleanup crew to frame low-income, familyless citizens for the heinous crimes committed by powerful corporate officials. For the actor's murder, Mendes has selected a defenseless young woman. His thugs locate her, knock her out with chloroform, and harvest her hair and fingerprints to plant at the fabricated scene. Kai escapes the building and returns to the bunker. He tasks Chloe with running the synthetic fingerprints of the woman being framed. Within minutes, Chloe pulls up her profile, and Kai freezes as a voice file plays. The woman's voice perfectly matches the mysterious caller who claimed she lost her phone at the internet cafe. The very phone used to lure Kai into the hotel trap. Kai uses Chloe's satellite system to pin her live GPS coordinates, but before he can reach her, a new nightmare strikes. Furious that Kai escaped prison, Lawyer Mendes uses his corrupt legal loops to secretly release Marcus and his gang from maximum security, hiring them as contract hitmen to eliminate Kai permanently. Before Kai can exit the alleyway, Marcus's van screeches to a halt. The gang swarms him, tying him up and dragging him into an abandoned warehouse. Reunited with his old prison enemy, Kai faces a hypervicious Marcus, who beats him mercilessly until his face is drenched in blood. Just as Marcus raises a pipe to deliver a fatal blow, the building is flooded with flashing red lights and blaring sirens. Terrified of being sent back to the blocks, Marcus and his thugs scatter into the shadows. Kai collapses onto the concrete as Chloe bursts through the side doors. She had been tracking his vitals and called in a fake riot report to save his life. But Chloe is spooked. "How did they find you? Our comms are completely encrypted," she mutters, pulling out a military-grade digital scanner. She sweeps the scanner over Kai's clothes until it lets out a piercing, continuous beep. The scanner stops directly over his mother's silver bracelet, the relic given to him by Lawyer Mendes. Kai cracks the heavy silver lining open, revealing a microscopic, military-grade GPS tracking chip. Mendes had been monitoring his every single step through his mother's memory. With a heavy heart, Kai shatters the tracking device under his boot, severing Mendes's eyes. Back at the base, the tech professor launches a custom surveillance drone over Mendes's high-security estate. As the live feed streams across the monitors, the clan finally confirms the unthinkable. The man who sworn to defend Kai in court is the wolf running the entire slaughterhouse. Inside the heart of his high-tech fortress, Lawyer Mendes maintains a massive, encrypted mainframe server. This server holds the digital blueprints and dark evidence for every single frame-up he has ever executed for the city's corrupt elite. But the network is locked down tight. Kai's clan cannot breach it from the outside. To force the crooked attorney to expose his own weakness, Kai decides it's time to go on the offensive. With the clan providing tactical support, Kai breaches the freshly staged murder scene of the famous actor. He completely sabotages Mendes's setup, dumping bags of random hair clippings from a local barbershop all over the room to totally contaminate the planted DNA evidence. He leaves a chilling, handwritten warning directly on the camera lens for Mendes to find. Mendes doesn't panic. He immediately deploys 2 strike teams, one to hunt down Kai, and the other to construct a completely fresh, secondary crime scene. But Kai is 5 steps ahead. The gaming clan initiates a relentless wave of digital and physical harassment against Mendes's cleanup crews, culminating in the team blowing up the transport vehicles of his subordinates. This creates a massive headache for Mendes. The real killer of the actor is the spoiled daughter of Chairman Choi, a powerful billionaire who has been breathing down Mendes's neck to erase the case. Before Mendes can fabricate a backup trap, the national media breaks a shocking, unscripted broadcast. The actor's body has been discovered floating in a massive glass tank inside a luxury hotel, and passed out on the adjacent bed is Chairman Choi's daughter. The billionaire's daughter is instantly slapped with a red notice and named the prime murder suspect. The public explosion sends Chairman Choi into a localized rage. He calls Mendes, screaming threats down the line. Hanging up the phone, Mendes shatters his office decor, finally realizing that Kai isn't just a desperate fugitive. He's an absolute predator. Suddenly, the lights in Mendes's penthouse flicker. He turns around to find his personal assistant slumped unconscious over her desk. Realizing Kai has breached his inner sanctum, Mendes flees toward his hidden panic room. But as the heavy steel door slides open, Kai is already waiting for him inside. Kai grabs Mendes by the hair, dragging him across the floor and slamming him into the concrete. He beats the corrupt lawyer within an inch of his life, demanding answers. Kai forces open Mendes's private database, unlocking the files on his own frame-up. As the folders open, Kai discovers hidden surveillance footage of his mother, helplessly begging Mendes for help. With blood dripping from his face, a desperate Mendes laughs, revealing the ultimate, sick truth. Kai's mother didn't take her own life. Mendes had her strangled to death in her own home to completely break Kai's spirit and stop her from investigating further. Blinded by pure, unadulterated fury, Kai unleashes a barrage of devastating punches, prepared to tear Mendes apart with his bare hands. But right before he can deliver the fatal strike, his earpiece rings. It's Chloe's line, but all Kai hears are her terrifying screams for help. Mendes sneers through his broken teeth. While Kai was hunting him, Marcus and his gang breached the clan's secret bunker, taking every single teammate hostage. Mendes delivers a chilling ultimatum. Stay here and copy the mainframe data to a USB drive to buy your own freedom, and let your friends die. Or run to save them, and remain a wanted monster forever. Kai doesn't hesitate. He refuses to sacrifice the family that saved him. He bolts from the penthouse, jumping into a car and flooring the gas toward the bunker. En route, Mendes calls his phone, mocking him, stating he has already cloned Chloe's DNA and fingerprints, and the moment she dies, she will take the fall for the billionaire daughter's murder case. Kai smashes through the bunker's entrance. Inside, his entire gaming clan is bound in heavy chains, with Marcus holding a loaded firearm to Chloe's head. Just as Marcus tightens his finger on the trigger, the main breaker blows. The entire bunker plunges into pitch-black darkness. Before the thugs can react, Kai hurls a handful of specialized glowing fluorescent powder across the room, illuminating the targets. While Marcus's men are blinded and exposed in the light, Kai moves like a ghost through the shadows, utilizing his advanced close-quarters martial arts training to systematically dismantle the entire gang, successfully cutting his friends free. But the nightmare isn't over. Sirens echo outside. Mendes has tipped off the police, and a fleet of cruisers completely block the sector. To buy his team time, Kai tells everyone to scatter while he hops into the lead vehicle alone, stepping on the gas until the engine literally smokes, drawing the entire police force and Marcus's surviving men into a high-speed wild goose chase. This sacrifice gives Chloe the window she needs. She breaches the city's central television broadcast station, tapping her rig straight into the internal network routers. Meanwhile, the remaining clan members use their tech skills to manipulate traffic lights and block roads, guiding Kai through the city streets exactly like a high-stakes tactical video game. But as Chloe initiates the final data upload, Marcus corners her inside the broadcast room, taking her hostage at knife point. Out on the street, Kai's smoking vehicle is completely pinned by a dozen armed police cruisers. Spotting Marcus holding a knife to Chloe on the studio balcony above, Kai steps out of the car, slowly raising his hands in absolute defeat. Watching the live police feed from his penthouse, Mendes pours a drink, believing his victory is absolute. But suddenly, his monitors begin to glitch. The data files across his screens begin to rapidly dissolve into corrupted code. The USB drive Kai plugged into the mainframe earlier wasn't a storage device. It was a devastating, weaponized digital virus custom-built by Chloe. The entire database is now under her complete control. Just as the tactical officers step forward to arrest Kai, every single massive commercial electronic billboard across the neon streets of the city flashes to life. A high-profile news anchor appears on screen, broadcasting a live, unedited whistleblower report. The screen cuts directly to a crystal-clear audio recording of lawyer Mendes negotiating with high-ranking government officials, followed by the surveillance footage of his cleanup crew explicitly fabricating the actor's murder scene. The broadcast exposes everything. The real killer was a congressman's son, and Kai was nothing more than a carefully selected, innocent scapegoat. The entire nation watches the truth unfold in real time. Public outrage erupts instantly. Furious SWAT teams divert their units, storming Mendes's luxury estate. The corrupt attorney sprints to his garage to flee the country, but as he slams into the driver's seat of his sports car, he gasps in horror. The clan's mechanics had completely removed his steering wheel. He is completely trapped. Mendes is placed in heavy irons and thrown directly into the maximum security prison block, where a vengeful Marcus is waiting for him as his new cellmate. His name fully cleared and his freedom restored, Kai stands under the open sky, a free man at last. A few days later, the victorious gaming clan gathers around a massive table at a restaurant, laughing and celebrating over a huge feast. Looking at the radiant smiles of the friends who risked everything to save him, Kai finally smiles, knowing justice was served. The curtain falls on an unforgettable battle for survival. If this insane game of cat and mouse kept you on the edge of your seat, do me a massive favor. Smash that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And hey, the thrill ride doesn't have to end here. Check out the next mind-blowing breakdown waiting for you right over on the left side of your screen. Trust me, you are going to absolutely love that one too. Winking face with tongue, see you over there.